So, just to preface, I did drink some coffee before this, so my mind is a little bit too accelerated right now. And hopefully I can articulate this in a way which can really be a benefit to you. So, just follow along and you'll get the essence of the thing that I'm trying to say once we have finished this conversation. So, when it comes to where I'm at, when it comes to producing the most without stressing out about the results, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to how I'm coaching and how I'm teaching, I like to push the emphasis on the main thing. And when it comes to basically being a polymath and pursuing multiple interests, the problem is more so our focus rather than our time. Our limitation isn't something exterior. Our limitation isn't our time. Our limitation is our attention. So what we put our attention to is going to be what multiplies. So it's not a matter whether you have the time or not. It's about how you structure your attention when you're involved in an activity. So, for example, how to learn quickly. I've understood that when you're learning, the best way to learn fast is to pay attention to the principles, to pay attention to the fundamentals. If you can understand the fundamentals, then you can understand where the specialized thing has come from. So people often like to teach in terms of specificities. For example, right now I'm learning about history. It's talking about how the best approach to learning history isn't about learning about a specific nation in isolation. The best way to learn about history is to learn about the interconnections between the nation and other nations, and looking at it from a holistic standpoint. So the best way to learn and learn fast is to approach the specific skill or area from a holistic standpoint. It's about learning. It's about being able to approach the thing in relation to other things. So when you're coming into a subject, don't approach it as a single thing. Approach it as an interconnected thing, as it not existing in isolation, but it existing as a result of the interplay between the thing and other things. So for example, when it comes to dance, the way I've been able to learn faster has been my ability to see the connections between dance and other things. Dance and psychology, for example, or dance and animation, or dance and mathematics. Timing is mathematics. Physics, tension in dance is a very important thing that I realized. It's like a beautiful connection is much based on the tension and balance between the two people dancing together. And so that's allowed me to be able to use not just physics but also spirituality, where spirituality talks about this interplay between the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative. So I can see the positive and the negative as people are dancing. The positive is direct while the negative is receptive, and that has allowed me to then to shortcut my learning by years, because the masters are like, I realized that when you specialize too much in one thing, you really close yourself off to being able to explain it or experience the discipline in other ways. And so, for example, there can be masters, there can be people that are really good at what they do, and they can be specialists, and they can be revered for how talented they are. But if they can't explain to me the implications of what they're doing, and if they can't explain to me the depth of what they're doing, then to me they can't be good teachers, because a good teacher is able to go deeper into the concept and look at the source of the concept and be able to explain it in a way that resonates with other areas, other disciplines. I think it's about getting to the feeling, to the source of the thing, before seeing the appearance of it. You know, a lot of people like to highlight the appearance, and that's what sells, but they forget that appearance has a source. that there is a source, there is a feeling before the appearance. And so when it comes to learning quickly, you have to be able to isolate yourself or detach yourself from the appearance, detach yourself from the thing itself, and allow yourself to go wider, to experience a wider feeling, a wider approach, a holistic approach to the discipline that you're taking on. So if you want to, and in any field, you want to take on the holistic approach. You want to come in and know that, not to get confined by the specifics. Do not get to confined to the specifics. First, find the feeling, find the flow. So, for example, right now I'm reading this book, and there's these words that I don't understand. There's a lot of things that I'm struggling with to understand. And as I'm reading it, I'm skipping through a lot of it. I'm skipping through the specifics because I am not a master, and the guy that wrote this is a master, right? So in order for me to learn this, I have to be able to, first off, not beat myself up because I don't know the specifics. I don't know the words that specifically that he's using, but I understand that there's a feeling here. There's a depth to it, and I'm letting myself be guided by the depth. So until I can lock down the specific thing until I can lock down the specific concept, the feeling that the author's trying to convey, I'm not gonna beat myself up in terms of how fast I'm learning or how fast I'm retrieving the information. I will allow myself to flow and skip some sections up until the author gets to his point. Because a dancer, and this is really what I relate to when it comes to dance, as I'm learning or as I'm reading, I was reading all of these things like when Charlemagne's dominions were partitioned between his three grandsons by the Treaty of Verdun in AD 843, Lothair, as the eldest, established his claim to possess his grandfather's two capitals of Aachen and Rome, and in order blah blah. So I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, what do you like? I see the Hellenic society. If the argument of this chapter is accepted, it will be agreed that the intelligible unit of historical study is neither a nation nor mankind as a whole, but a certain grouping of humanity which we have called a society. Okay, now we're getting a little closer to the author's point, the feeling. And so at the end he says that so basically in the next chapter we shall attempt to make a complete list of the societies of this kind that are known to have existed on this planet, and to indicate the relations in which they stand to each other. Bam. So all the little details that were said here, I completely ignored them before that. But finally, when I got to the point of the book, to that specific chapter, it said that history is basically about societies. There have been fundamental societies that have been created that have developed along the span of time, and history is really about the interrelation between the societies. So we are in a society right now, and we are the offspring of the previous society. So to understand history, we have to be able to connect the societies across time, and that will allow us to understand how we have gotten to the place we are in right now, and where we have come from in the past, so that we can understand. And this is the part that I'm adding on, so that we can understand how to create the next society. That's kind of why I want to get into history, because I want to understand how societies work and how to create the next society. And so what I'm doing here, I'm trying to bring my approach to you, so that when you go into any endeavor, any discipline, I want you to let go of the specifics, let go of the technicalities. Look for the feeling within the technicalities, because every technicality has a specific to it. Every technicality has a feeling to it. And for example, when we go into a specific genre, we can talk about a song and go into the specifics, but if we can get a feeling, capture the feeling of the song, a line that connects them all, then we get an understanding of the genre. And then when we understand the genre, then we can kind of go out and create something similar to that, because we understand the feeling, we understand the concept, which is the genre. So when I was talking to myself yesterday, I realized that it's about learning the concepts. It's about being able to first understand the concepts, teaching the concepts, because from the concepts is where everything else stems from. So if you can understand the underlying idea, the underlying feeling, the underlying concept, and you can think in terms of concepts, then you can fast forward your progress, because higher thinking, it comes from the ninth house of astrology, which is the house of philosophy. Higher thinking is really what it serves as the umbrella, and most people get stuck in the specifics. That's the third house, which is the details, and the details are important, but there's an interrelation here where the third house points to the ninth house, and the ninth house points to the third house, and there's this constant flow. So if you're able to play with the third house details, and then and look, and you have a radar to see what like, there's this umbrella, and you want to be able to feel this concept. There's a concept, and there's the specifics. So you play with the specifics, and they shoot you over to a specific area of the concept. And if you're able to then to capture exactly what the concept is, you get and you capture the feeling. You're like, oh, it's pointing in this direction. This is kind of the concept that we're talking about. Then you can work from the concept, and the details fill completely the bridge between the concept and the details. And so then you're able to basically encapsulate the whole thing here, and now you can play ball with it. You can shoot, boom. That's kind of how it's so weird the way I'm explaining it, and I know it might not make sense, but if you can get it, then you will be able to further advance your ability to learn and create, because that's the job here. So I guess at the end of the day, if you want to learn faster, approach from concepts, ignore the specifics, and use the specifics more as bridges to point towards the concepts. And once you find the concepts, then you can really understand the underlying meaning between the specifics, and you don't have to get stuck in there. Now you can begin to dissect and play with the things, with the specifics and the details, and you become a master. And that's how you become a master much faster. And also another thing is like masters understand can play the concepts out, but like true masters understand the concepts and basically create new concepts, and can play with multiple concepts all at the same time. And that's what makes them like geniuses. That's what makes geniuses, because they are now not subject to the thing itself. Now the thing is a tool for them, is a weapon for them. So this is what it means to be a creator, because you can now channel the concept into reality, and you can begin to build bridges between different areas of life, and that allows you to then to shoot like arrows. So you can shoot arrows. I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but the concept of the Sagittarius is the ninth house. Sagittarius is the centaur who shoots arrows. So there's these concepts serve as tools that you can use as weapons, and you can shoot them out into the world, and that allows you to build new worlds, basically. Holy shit, that's okay. This is all just happening in real time. So, this video might be a complete flop, but if you kind of get what I'm saying, let's continue. I already have to go because I'm already like overextending my break. But basically, you learn faster by focusing on the concepts. You don't beat yourself up because you don't understand the specifics. When you enter a new discipline, there is always an underlying concept, and if you can find the concept through the underlying meaning of the specifics, then you can fill the whole bridge between the specifics and the concepts, and you can then begin to use that bridge to begin to develop into a master. And once you have mastered that discipline, you can use that discipline as a weapon to create new worlds. Bam. Hopefully that all made sense. This video might have been a flop, complete flop, but I thank you for being able to join me on this ride. I think I'll be able to work this out even further, and I'll be able to explain this even better in the future. But thank you. Your boy has to go. We're out of here. Stay lucid. Peace.